Hello everybody, it's me, Batmanabove, your host, and today I'm gonna be trying something a little different. I'm gonna be illustrating you what it must have been like for at the certain kind of battle of during the uh during the French and Indian War. It was called Battle for Bull, and here's a Wikipedia page from article from Wikipedia detailing the battle. The Battle of Fort Bull was a French attack on the British-held Fort Bull on the 27th of March, 1756. Early in the French and Indian War, the fort was built to defend a position of the waterway connecting Albany, New York, to Lake Ontario via the Mohawk River. Oh, great! Here comes the French names: Lieutenant Gaspar Joseph Chos Igaros de Lery led his command, consisting of forces from the Troupes de la Marine, Canadian militia, and Indian allies. Sadly, as you can see here on screen, I cannot. The French battle scheme did not allow me to recruit Native Americans, so I just went with the second best option, the weakest choice in the French military, another group of militia. Not the most historically accurate, but it will have to do. Uh, sorry. And any Indian allies on an attack against Fort Bull on the 27th of March, 1756. Shielded by trees, they sneaked up to 100 yards, 91 meters, of the fort. Larry ordered a charge at the fort with bayonets. They stuck their muskets into narrow openings in the fort and shot the defenders. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that all, but I will most certainly try, considering the fort has cannons on it, which it's not technically my fault, but at the same time, there's also there aren't we'll just have to overlook this site. Plus, there's only one group of militia, only a few ways they can attack. And, on the other side, Larry repeatedly asked for their surrender. Finally, the gate was crashed in, and the French and Indians swarmed in, killing everyone they saw. The French soldiers looted what they could and set the powder magazines on fire. The fort was burned to the ground. Now, here's a little insight before the battle. Following the failure of aggressive British campaign plans in 1755, a chain of forts along the Mohawk River, connecting the Hudson River to Lake Ontario, were garrisoned during the winter of 1755-1756. The largest garrison was left at Fort Oswego. At the end of the chain, which depended on the others for its supplies, two forts along the Oneida Carry were a key element of the supply chain. The Oneida Carry traversed an unnavigable section between Rome, New York. Yes, Rome, New York. You heard me right. And Wood Creek. That was one between 1 and 6 miles long. Depending on seasonal water levels, Fort Williams on the Mohawk was the larger of the two, while Fort Bull, several miles north of Fort Williams on Wood Creek, was a little more palisade, surrounded by storehouses. Now, as you can see here on the map, there is no storehouse, but you can try and use your imagination to see what it must have been like. Fort Bull was garrisoned by a small number of men from Shirley's regiment under William Bull, and held large quantities of military stores, including gunpowder and ammunition, destined for use in the 1756 campaign. I'm sorry if I may mutter, but this is sorry, just purely sorry. Skip ahead if you want to get the battle. maybe less of this. In early 1756, French military leaders in Canada decided to send a raiding expedition to attack Oswego's supply line. On March 12th, a company left for Fort de la Presentation and began an overland trek toward the Oneida Carry under the command of Lieutenant Gaspar Joseph Schwagers de Lery, a Canadian-born seigneur. The force consisted of 84 troops de la Marine, 111 Canadian militiamen, 120 natives, mostly Iroquois, but also some Hurons. As I stated earlier, as you can see, it'll have to be replaced by militia. After 2 weeks of difficult winter travel, they arrived near the Carry on March 24th, 1756. Now, the French contains 84 troops de la Marine, 166 militia, and 120 is close to 166, I guess. And 90 plus 20 equals 110, so 120 is near 110. And here on the British side is 120 militia, no, regulars. And the battle actually had 111 regulars, so all in all, I think it's pretty good. So I'll be having the militia and the rest of the soldiers charge in with melee and try and bring down the gates. It may happen that that they will climb the wall, maybe, but I'm just not sure. We will see how it will play out, won't we? Now let's get this battle started, and I'll get some music so you can watch what will happen. I'll put the sound effects on a little, and yeah. And yeah, let's begin this battle. Let me show you how it may have played out. So I'll be quiet for now. I'll disconnect. And as you saw there, the French won, and they killed all of the British dead. Now, as I cannot select that they take 35 prisoner and kill 76, and only 2 were wounded, and only 1 were killed, I think I got a pretty good representation of what it may have been like. And I know the Iroquois nor the Huron were able to join the battle, but I think all in our hearts we could imagine what it could have been like. And this is Batmanabove signing off. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Good night.